Biangone, if you can go ahead and record, if everyone's okay with that. Thank you. We'd like to start by welcoming everyone. Thank you for giving us your time tonight. We want to address any questions that you guys have. We have some topics that we'll be discussing tonight, such as school safety, our Goguardian technology safety application, and the Sundale application, and a few other things as well. But we do want to make sure to address any questions that you have. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Farkas. She's our vice principal this year. In case you have not met her, she's waving there. We've got Mrs. Ruffert, our superintendent, as you guys know. Mrs. Jamaica is translating if anyone needs that. And then Mrs. Biangone is here as well to help us out. So first of all, I want to start by reminding all of you the importance of filling out the lunch application. We still can accept those. It's very important. We understand that there is the free breakfast and lunch for all of our children, although the lunch application helps qualify students for other programs on Sundale's campus as well. So it could benefit your child if you were to qualify for other programs on campus outside of the lunch and breakfast, because everyone's getting that. And as Mrs. Ruffert says, we're all paying our taxes, so might as well take advantage of it and get your students in programs either after school or during the school day that can help benefit them. So the lunch application is available online on our website. Is that correct, Mrs. Biangone? Yes.
Yes.
As well as you can pick up a copy of that in the office.
You're breaking up.
Right,
you're breaking up, so say it again.
I don't know what part you guys missed.
Yeah, the part at you online they got, but after that.
Okay, so you can get the lunch application on the Sundale website, as well as picking up a paper copy in the office. Is it breaking up? I'm so sorry. Gotta love technology.
I can say it for you. So they are available in the office and also available online. If you'd like to fill one out, we are still accepting lunch applications.
All right, I'm gonna try to talk, but you guys, Ms. Ruffert, give me a thumbs down if you can't hear me. With lunch as well, we put out our lunch menu monthly, although because of the supply demand and the lack of resources for some of the food items coming to us, there are times that the lunch menu may change. So we just ask for your patience through that. We don't always receive all of our order that that Leslie puts in. So I wanted just to give you a heads up on that. And then also Lost and Found, it is beginning to stack up. So this week they are donating all the items. PTO put out a remind message regarding that. As I'm breaking up, I'm understanding. I want to remind you to place your child's names on all their items, sweatshirts, jackets, lunch boxes, especially as the weather gets cooler and they'll be wearing more of their jackets and sweatshirts. That way we can get them back to your children if their name on them. Otherwise, they will be donated at the end of the month. We may eventually go to donating twice a month as the items stack up. Did I cut out at all?
You did, but I think it was clear enough. But it really is. PTO is really good about if they have names on them, bringing them to the office and getting them to you guys. So it amazes me, especially with all these new sweatshirts, but it always amazes me how much Sundale gear is there with no names on it. So it is worth it. And if you donate it, somebody else got it, then you can just tell us that, but better to get a call than not.
And
You broke up again, Cindy.
hate the fact when there's Sundale sweatshirts because okay, it's clothing and lunch bags. All right, so now we want to go into school safety. I want to answer any questions that you guys might have between Mrs. Farkas, Mrs. Ruffert, and I on school safety. Do anyone have any questions? If you can unmute and please ask related to school safety. And if not, then I'll share some information with you.
I think one of my biggest concerns is what we've seen. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yep.
Yes, I can.
Sorry. Oh, I undid my video because it's chaos over here. I think one of the things that has come up quite often is kind of, I guess, just the drug situation that we're seeing on social media everywhere and what kids are consuming. We have a TKer, and I know like at the parent volunteer meeting, we talked about how there's some things that it's hard to discuss with our littler ones. I can't just be like, okay, don't eat anything that looks like candy, because it's kind of like, what do I do or don't do? So I'm not sure if there are, I guess, things in place going on around the school, or if law enforcement has mentioned anything circulating in our area. I know a lot of what's been going on is not necessarily here, but it's just one of those things that concerns me as a parent, being that we're seeing it more often now.
Yeah, I think fentanyl, if you guys have heard how that's kind of coming through, and it really much resembles a candy, similar to like the Smartie candy. It's round and they're all different colors, highly dangerous for anyone. I would encourage you, Julie, just to let your children know, do not take any food, candy, anything from anyone, obviously, unless if they're having a class party, and most of the items are packaged in that way. But otherwise, I would encourage your children not to take anything from anyone.
Okay.
Because
The other,
We are
just don't know.
informing our teachers
I know.
as well, and our staff. We just sent something out to all of them about what to be looking for and what to do. But I just think it's a good practice. I mean, I know we teach our kids to share, but really they shouldn't be sharing food anyway.
yeah.
You know, so I think if that's an easy way to do it, not sharing candy or food unless it comes from a class party.
Now, worst case scenario, something were to be on the school, does the school have measures to deal with an OD if something like that were to occur?
We're in the process of signing up for the Narcan.
Okay.
Right now, we don't have it right this moment. When they first offered it, you had to get a doctor prescription, and we couldn't do that. So there's something through the county and something that I just got. So I'm working on that this week. But I don't know when I'll have it, but we don't right now.
Okay.
Sorry, can I
Good
just chime in?
question, Julie?
So
Yes.
I've been in emergency medicine for a long time. And so I know for parents that are concerned that there is no Narcan on campus, I just want to reassure them that like BLS, like CPR teaches you how to breathe for patients.
Correct.
Someone who doses on fentanyl, that's what they need. They need someone to breathe for them. And then even, you know, the medicine's coming, you call the ambulance, they'll get it there, and that will help a lot.
I don't think we've been,
that
I
was
don't
my
think we've been
next.
told that, Julie, so that's a good idea. So we can share that with our staff. I mean, yeah, we would do CPR anyway if they stop breathing. That's what we've been trained to do, right? But that would be good for our staff to know. But we've been, not all of our staff, but our coaches, anybody that does any kind of after school program, the office, we've all been trained in that. But they didn't talk about fentanyl in particular, but just if somebody stops breathing, to breathe for them until 911 gets there. So we've been
And
told.
my understanding is law enforcement carries Narcan. So I'm assuming if somebody comes out, then that can be, that was just one of the, again, because it's been something that has just been circulating so much recently. And now with Halloween coming up and candy everywhere, that is one of the things that is just keeps coming to mind.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my dad's an undercover narc, and we used to have to break our candies in half because of the needles that got stuck into them. And so this is a little bit different. My family's even talking about it by, don't go to trick or treat anywhere you don't know, because you just don't know. And any candy that comes to us has to already be in a bag. We don't, if somebody were just to bring us open candy for our Halloween carnival, we don't use it. It has to come in a bag. So, so that's kind of where it is, but we did get the information from our county health department. So obviously it was important enough for them to get us information.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Julie, for asking that question. Are there any other questions related to safety?
I think the big one, well, just with the culture of school shootings right now, just kind of what's the protocol for that as far as safety should, hopefully nothing like that ever occurs, but what is the message being sent out to staff? Just wondering.
Yeah, well, there's a few things with that. Hopefully it wouldn't happen on our campus, but we have trained our staff and we have another training coming up October 10th. We are partnering with the Tulare County Office of Education, which has a program that is also partnered with law enforcement and emergency paramedics and fire departments, to where they can see our cameras, be able to kind of track if there was an intruder on campus, and we can communicate through that system. With that as well, depending on if that were to happen on campus and what the situation would be, would determine how we would respond, whether students would be locked in the classrooms or we would be having them escape campus. So it really just depends on the situation, but those are all the things that our staff have been trained on. We do have a great surveillance system on campus that is on my computer, as well as Ms. Azavito's computer and Mr. Quinn's computer, to where we can watch all the entry points. Ms. Azavito's constantly watching all the entry points. All of our gates are locked by 8:30 with the exception of the front black gate. Although that one's in the front and I can see it from my office window as well as Mrs. Rupert. And like I said, Ms. Azavito's constantly watching that. If there was a situation on campus, whether it's an active shooter or another safety concern on our campus, and we needed to contact you guys to let you know, we will work hard to keep the communication going with family. And that will more than likely be done through Remind. So hopefully all of you guys are receiving those Remind messages that go out school-wide, whether it's through a text or an email, as well as Facebook. Okay, we may or may not do an all-call message to you. It would just depend on the situation. But that could be another way that you would be notified of the safety of your children and what's going on our campus. We will work hard to communicate with you once we're in a situation that we're able to do that and we have information to share.
Our first, I know as a parent and as a grandparent, for me, that would be very nerve-wracking, right? But our first responsibility is to make sure the kids are safe. As much as you want to be contacted, as the kids are safe, and we all have roles. So mine is with the media and with the first responders. Mrs. Gist is with the staff, and then Anne Marie. We all have backups too. Joy and Katie with parents and stuff. I mean, we all have backups. And we all have roles to do, and we're really careful about letting out the plan too much, only because, like, I know you may want to know it, but if it gets out and around and a shooter, most of the shooters are attached to the school. And if it's known too much by outsiders, then they can know just as well and know everything else. So, but the system we have, we can also pinpoint kids that are, if they've been hurt, so that the fire department or EMS knows where to go in. But it's pretty amazing. We got to see a live action of how that would look on our campus if it ever did happen. I think it made the paper. And it's pretty amazing, but it takes them a while to clear buildings. So there's a lot of time that we have no information to give, except for they're still clearing a building. They're still clearing a building. But just know that, like, for our pickup points for kids that aren't on campus, we're not going to share that with anybody because we don't want that out and around and people sharing. But we don't practice jumping the fence or running out across, but do know, I mean, for your kids, breaking your arm jumping a fence is probably a lot. You'd be a lot more happy than that than something else happening, right? So but the teachers are going to get trained, so we'll have after they get trained, even more specifically, we'll have another training. We already had one, but we'll have another one. And the system that's in place helps us to track where the kids are a lot better, so that we know those kids that are on campus and where they are and who we're looking for. So, and that's about as best that we can. I think we offer you, but this system is going to be in Tulare County. We're kind of piloting it all here in Tulare County, and then it's going to go state, then it's going to go national. So it gives us access to, like, every kid and who's present. They can say who's in the room, and so if you sub for us, you would be trained in that as well.
Can I just clarify, Mrs. Gist mentioned that information could be sent out by Remind and Facebook. I just wanted to say we do have a Facebook group and a Facebook page that would most likely be going out in the Facebook group, which is private only to our Sundale parents and grandparents and alumni. So if you are a parent or a grandparent, make sure to join that Facebook group page.
Yeah, I would tell you the number one thing to join if you're concerned about the safety and want to be knowledgeable and if things are going, join the Remind. I mean, you may get more notes than you want to do, but if it ever came down to that time, it could be a spill too. I mean, there could be all kinds of things you're going to be wanting to notify, and that's the quickest and easiest way for us to notify you guys. The quickest way for us to notify all of you. So if you're not on it, then call the office and we'll help you through.
Katie just put in the chat what you would text to join the Remind app.
There you go.
Good question, Jennifer. Any other questions related to safety? I did also want to make you aware, especially if you're a new parent, we have the See Something, Say Something app that is also linked to our website. This is for both parents and students. If a student was feeling like they were being bullied or saw a situation on campus which was alarming to them, or a parent was upset or saw something with a student, or a child came home and said something about a student, this is a way they can report it, and it is anonymous. Or you can obviously call the school or talk to Ms. Rufert, Mrs. Farkas, or I. But this is a reporting system that is available on our school website. Katie's just putting it in the chat as a link as well. That is very beneficial. We've had students on weekends that needed assistance with something. We're in a situation and they've put that out. I receive a text message right away, as well as Mrs. Rufert. Mr. Garcia, our counselors, also receive a text message right away, and we act on it instantly. Law enforcement sometimes is contacted through that app as well. So it is a way that we can get students to a safe place or communicate with them even off school time. So the See Something, Say Something app, we are going to be refreshing our students about that because we've been kind of out with COVID. And so now that we're back in, we want to make sure our students are reminded about that app, but it is something that you can have on your phone as well. And like I said, the link is on our website.
And it's 24/7. And so we're not the only ones. They have a counselor or somebody that's on the other end. They have it. And then we're 24/7 as well. All of us that can get it.
Mrs. Gist, I did receive a chat question asking if there's any talks of a campus officer.
Mrs. Rufert, you can address that.
No, we really haven't talked about that. I mean, I know that you guys are nervous about kids, which rightfully so. I do have to tell you, we have tons of parents that are in law enforcement or first responders, and anytime, even when there's like an accident that's close by, it's amazing how many police are here right off the bat. So we haven't felt a need to have them necessarily on campus because we don't have, except for that one time that there might be something that happens, we just don't have a lot of issues for them to do during the day. There's just not a lot in that aspect. So, but we get probably responded better to than just about most schools in the county. So it's amazing who shows up for an accident when they hear it on the corner, how many different people show up, and it's like, oh, there's a parent, there's a parent, there's a parent, there's a parent. So it could be down the road. At this point, it's not, but it could be down the road somewhere.
All right. If you, no one has any more questions on safety, if you
Cindy, I want to go back to that question. I'm not saying that's a no.
Ask.
I'm not saying that's a no. If there's a concern and you want to talk about it, we're always open. Everything's always on the table and it's always open. Okay. That's just where we're at right now.
Mrs. Farkas, can you share a little bit about the Goguardian technology safety app?
Sure. So teachers have Goguardians on our computers, and we can kind of, we can open it up and we see the whole class and we see their screens. kind of makes for great accountability because the students know that we're watching and we expect them to be working. So teachers can send messages to them. We can close down windows. We can monitor their stuff. And so the app kind of gives you the option of having that on your phone and seeing what's happening as well. So the app is called Goguardian Parent. Once you download the app to your phone, you're going to enter your email that you've put into Aries, and then your kid should be connected to you. You open it up and kind of gives you little graphs and some things. So it'll give you the top 5 websites that your child visited that day. It'll give you 5 documents that the top 5 documents that they were working on, the top 5 apps or extensions that they opened. And then it'll also show you the teacher interventions. So if a teacher closed the tab or they locked their screen or opened a new tab or unlocked, you'll be able to see that the teacher had that interaction with your student online. Then it also has an activity log where you could view every website and link that your child had typed in that day, and you can click on the links and it would take you to the page that your student was looking at that day. So just kind of a way for you to be informed of what they're doing at school and what they're doing online, as well as, the teacher is watching also.
If I can just clarify, at this time, the primary email is registered for the Goguardian Parent app. For example, if we have both mom's and dad's email, but mom's email is listed as the primary, mom is the one with access to Goguardian at this time. However, we can add a second parent to it. We just need to be notified that you would like to be added. As far as the bulk upload, only the primary email address was able to be uploaded in the bulk upload.
Any questions on Goguardian?
Do you guys need to see, like, if we put together a little video and put it online so that you could see that, how it works a little bit better? Would that work for you? Would that help you?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
I know there's
A couple questions. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. If you can go through those chats and we can answer them.
Yep. So a couple of questions in the chat, Mrs. Farkas. Does this cover school Chromebooks when used at home?
So if your child is logged on with their school ID, it will register with Goguardian. So if your student had the Chromebook, they were signed on to their Sundale username, it's going to show up on Goguardian.
However, the teacher will not have live access to the child's screen, not outside of class time. The teacher is only monitoring the live access during class time, but the filters are still in place. So Mrs. Gist, Mrs. Farkas, they get notifications if something inappropriate is being accessed, even if it is outside of school time. And then
you get on the app as well. Yeah.
And then the next question, can you add filters like parental controls on Goguardian?
I don't believe you can. We looked at the app today, and I don't think that you can.
I believe that's correct. The school has filters already set, and so students are not able to access certain things. They are able to access YouTube because there is a lot of educational content in YouTube, but there are certain things in YouTube that students are not able to access. So when they are logged in under their school credentials, they have the filters that the school has set. Of course, if you guys are logged in under a personal, under something personal, then there would be no access on there. But a school checked out device would have to be logged in under their school ID, and then that would be monitored. And just a comment there that thank you so much for adding this resource. This sounds amazing. It makes me more comfortable with kids using computers.
Yes, and it's been kind of interesting because even if the teacher's off campus at a training, they're able to access. So sometimes the kids are like, oh my gosh, how did my teacher know? So, but sometimes they're able to access that as well. But I get an email instantly when the students hit a site that may be inappropriate. And then we take care of it right away. There's even been times, because right now one of our eighth grade career classes is doing research papers and assignment on drugs and different things. And so I'm constantly getting things that they're searching, and I'm checking with the teachers like, no, it's okay, Mrs. Gist. Okay, just checking. So we take it very serious. And like Mrs. Farkas said, it pops up on our computer instantly. So it is an app that you might want to take a look at as well, especially if your children have a Chromebook signed out to them. Any other questions? Goguardian? And Katie's put that app on the chat as well. All right, well, now we have a Sundale app that Katie's going to talk to you about.
All right, so we do have a Sundale School App. You're able to find it in the Apple App Store as well as the Google Play Store. You'll recognize it. It has the Sundale logo. I'm sorry, my dog is crying. It has the Sundale logo as the face of the app. What's really great about the Sundale app is it is linked to our master calendar. So we do have a master calendar of all of the events that are going on at school, all of the sporting events, any special, really any special events going on, the weekend stuff, the evening stuff, all of it is linked on the calendar. And it's you're able to see all of it through the app. There are different settings within the app that you're able to tailor for your needs. I have all of the notifications turned on just so that I'm able to constantly make sure that it's up and running and working properly. But I receive a notification every Sunday evening, I believe, and it says, this is what's going on this week. And it lists out every single event that's happening all week at Sundale. So as a parent, I could scroll through that and see if there's anything that is, pertinent to my child. And then as well, every morning around 8 a.m., I get another notification of everything that's happening in that day. And you're able to click into those events and see a little bit more information if you need to. But it's a great way to be reminded. Parents have asked us in the past, can you send out reminds about when the practices are and when, every little thing is happening. And unfortunately, to send out all of those reminds, people's phones would be just going off constantly if we were to send a reminder about every event happening at school. So this is a great way for parents that want to stay in the know, can stay fully in the know with everything going on at Sundale. It's also a great way to have it the touch of your fingers. Anything that's going on the website, you can access all of the quick links and things like that are on the website right there from the app. And it's very easy to use. And then lastly, anything that's posted on our social media accounts is also automatically being posted on the app. So for example, if you don't have Facebook and you want to see the posts that are being posted on the Sundale School public Facebook page, this is not the group Facebook because that's private, but the public Sundale Facebook page, they're automatically being posted to the app and they're available there for you as well.
Any questions with that? It is a nice way to stay informed. All right, and Katie's put that in the chat as well. Those were the topics that we had set for addressing tonight, although you've got us all here. So are there any other questions that you might have, concerns, input you want to give us?
So I'm going to answer a question that just got asked if it could be on our group page. So I'm going to answer. Yes, we have menstrual products in our bathrooms, but we have them in the unisex bathrooms in ag that can be used for boys or girls, single use, only one person can go in at a time. So either adults or kids can go in that one. And then the ones when you volunteer in the middle of the hallways that are unisex, only one user, two. And then the girls only, hear me again, girls only, 6th or 8th grade bathroom. So that's what we did. So if you hear anything else, it is not correct. So we don't have any menstrual pads or products in any boys' bathroom, just unisex. Bus shortage, yeah, it's not a bus shortage. We have a bus driver shortage due to issue happening with one of our bus drivers, and then we have old buses, so they are having some issues. But we got the transmission on one. We're in the process of looking at 2 new buses, but it takes a while. So I just signed a paper today to get the product. One bus we can't even find parts for anymore, but we did find a company. Chase is wonderful. Found a company that does have the parts, but we do have a total of 4 buses. But the issue with the kids and all that has to do with the shortage of, but we had a shortage of bus drivers for a couple days. So, but they're all 3 of them are back, so they should be back to a normal run. And so we have 3 buses, but what happens is when you take one bus out and it breaks down, then we have to either get the other bus or the other bus drivers have to come and get the kids. So we only have 1 bus that is definitely needs to be replaced, but we're in the process of that. But like everything else, if you've gone to buy a new car, you know it's not, it takes a little while to get it. We are not buying electric ones. Don't know if you're for that or not, but we're not buying electric ones. We're buying 2 of buses like we have now. Did I
Love
answer your
that.
question, Julie?
Yes.
Okay. I know it's an issue. We thought we were in good shape, and all of a sudden bus 8 went out, but that's the bus. Bus 8 is the one that
Well,
we have a hard time finding parts for.
we had Ethan running buses, then pickup, then construction, and mom running late. There was a lot of confusion this week.
Yeah, we had that construction is just driving us crazy. It's not so much in the front of the school, but the backed up where they're backed up at, right? Even on like Mooney Boulevard coming to school is just backed up coming from my direction, which I'm south, but it's just crazy. So, but we do have 3 buses.
Awesome.
Any other questions that you might have? Everybody just wants to go watch football.
The social emotional curriculum that are being taught to our kiddos.
Yes, Jennifer.
Just curious about that. Like, what is it that they're learning?
Okay, my internet's staying unstable, so.
Okay,
I'm not
social
sure.
emotional learning. So if it is Mr. Garcia or Mrs. Espendola going into the classroom, it's called Second Step. And it is teaching kids interactions. And it's an older curriculum. It's not anything new. It's an older curriculum that was approved a long time ago by School Site Council. So we've not approved any new social emotional curriculum. What it would happen is we would approve it. Then it would go to School Site Council. School Site Council would like it, give us their advice. Teachers give us their advice. Then we take it to the board. So we don't have any new social emotional. So the second step is mostly from the counselor, and it will give you a situation like 2 girls tugging at depending on the age group. So I'm gonna do young, 2 girls tugging at a doll to play. So then the question is, what's happening here? How do we solve it? What do we do? But as far as, and then Mr. Garcia will go in with the only other, I don't think we have any other curriculum that I'm aware of.
Yeah, no, it's just.
We
second.
we were going to go for this grant program. We looked at the curriculum that was tied to the grant program. It was pretty clear, but we backed out. So we didn't have control of the people running the program. So we decided we just would back out. So if there's something else that I'm not aware of, please bring it to our attention, but there's nothing that we've approved outside of Second Step.
I forgot. I have one other question.
Sure.
The school enrichment programs, the after school programs, we got something and I reached out to the contact on there, but haven't heard back. Are those geared towards TK as well? Or are they primarily for upper grades? How do those work?
They're all different.
Okay.
I think they're all different, right? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. You should have received a flyer, and on the different opportunities for the children, it indicated the grade levels that it was.
Okay.
Did
Yes.
you see that, Julie?
I did. I just wasn't sure if it was okay.
If
specific
it
to
says
those
kindergarten,
grades.
assume that means TK too.
Okay.
Okay.
And those meet at the school and where do they meet?
Most of those that you probably received are at the school. There are some that are offered at the Legacy House, the house that is
Okay.
owned by our foundation. So it should specify on there, Julie, if it's on site or off campus.
Okay. And then at that point, does a bus take the kids from the campus to the Legacy House and then we pick up there?
Yes,
Or
yes, yeah, if the parent chooses, I think there's that option for the parent to choose that. Mrs. Jamaica, did you want to chime in? Ruby, go ahead.
Yeah, I talked to Mrs. Leo and she said the purple forms are for the school on campus and the yellow forms are for the Legacy House.
There you
Okay.
go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good question, Julie. Anybody else have a question?
We have our pumpkin patch this weekend from 10 to 3. Tons of pumpkins. Well, I think we had, what, 4 trailers and 9 truckloads of
Trucks.
pumpkins. The kids did a great job transforming the ag department out there. So it's from 10 to 3. The trading post will be open. They'll have food, activities for the kids. What exact activities? I can't answer that. Somebody else may be able to do that better than me. I don't know. I just know that that's what they usually do. So come on out and get some pumpkins, get some pictures taken, have a good time. It's always a good time.
Yeah,
And then
I
our
think they're gonna
band
also
is
have-
performing in Tulare at 8:18 in the morning in front of the adult school on what, L Street? K Street?
Yes, K Street.
Is it 10 or
and I know
11?
that-
On my calendar, Jennifer, I have it at 10. Cindy, what time is, that might be set up. I have it on my calendar from 10 to 3.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's what it is, 10 to 3. Yes.
So
I think
Annie
yeah, 10 to 3.
and who else talked? Jennifer, who told you 11 and 11 to 4?
I thought I saw 11 to 4 on the phone call. The voice
Okay.
received.
Amanda. Okay, we might, Amanda Jones from the Trading Post. Okay, so we might want to get that clarified because on my calendar it's 10 to 3, but if Amanda Jones told them that it's 11 to 4, we might, yes,
Yeah.
Libby.
Yeah,
The-
I heard 11 to 4 on the phone call as well.
The
Okay.
recording said 11
Okay.
to 4.
That's
Okay.
right, you had translated. Okay, so there you go. It's from
11
11
to
to
4.
4.
There you go. They're also going to have vendors booths set up, so you can do a little bit of shopping if you'd like to do that. And since we're talking about shopping, I don't know how many days till Christmas, but our Sports Boosters is having the Sundale Marketplace on November 5th at Sundale. Now I have that as 10 to 2, so, and that's November 5th at the Sundale Multipurpose Room. If you have something that you sell or have a craft that you want to have a booth for, there that information is in the office, and you can fill out the interest form for that. And there's a fee that goes along with that also, and that's a fundraiser for our sports.
I got a question. Can we put that on a line in our Facebook page, Katie? That application for the boutique.
Yes, I will ask Wendy for it. I just confirmed with Amanda Jones, pumpkin patch is 11 to 4.
And when is the fall boutique? November?
November 5th.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Nobody? Well, we thank you guys so much for joining us tonight and asking your wonderful questions. Hopefully you learned something that you didn't know before you logged on. If you guys have questions or concerns as the year continues, we're going to try to do these parent Q&As every few months. But Mrs. Rupert, Mrs. Farkas, and I are always available by phone. Come into the office, email us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions or address your concerns as well. All right.
Annie,
Anybody have
thank you for
anything
having a
else?
booth. I appreciate that very much. And Cindy Javier said he appreciates it. Thank you.
I think you're frozen.
Okay. Allison? Okay. if you
Okay,
can
so
close
she's
it, Mrs.
frozen. So thank you
Vargas.
guys. Don't hesitate to call us if you have questions and you need something. If there's a topic you want us to talk about at one of these that we do, then email Cindy and we will plan it with some other items so that we can keep you guys updated. You are welcome. Our pleasure. Remember, we were all parents, but we all had parents in school, and some of us have grandkids now. So we know what it's like to want to stay informed. Get used to it, because when they go to high school, you got to scramble a little bit more to stay informed. Okay, we'll stay on a little bit. Have a good evening.